Bust it.
Hello and welcome to Political Platform. My name is Amechi Anakwe. It's a big day for the ruling All Progressives Congress APC after a national caucus meeting that held at the State House Abuja last night. The party will in a few hours from now, about 1.5 hours from now, go into its National Executive Committee meeting. But insinuations flowing from activities in the last few days suggest that the much expected earthquake that may take place in today's NEC meeting may not happen after all. The position of Odigio Oyegun as the party's chairman will be further entrenched. State chairman of the party at a meeting yesterday endorsed Oyegun's National Working Committee for another 2-year tenure extension. And when the state chairman talk, you know, by implication, is the governors that are singing for them. And many have said that since the governors are with Oyegun, it will be very difficult to dislodge him. What will be the implications for the party if Oyegun and the National Working Committee gets a 2-year extension? The first is that the committee will indeed oversee the 2019 presidential and general election. And what will be the place of the reconciliatory team led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu? These are some of the big questions. But some conflicting statements coming from the Nigerian security agencies over what led to the attack by Boko Haram on a school in Yobe State. That's Dapchi, Government Science Girls Secondary School. It was the governor of that state, Ibrahim Gaidam, who raised allegations that a military unit, an army formation sitting close to the school, was withdrawn a week before the attack. If you recall, yesterday on this program, we asked the army authorities to speak up as it is a grave allegation, and they did exactly that. A spokesperson in the campaign Operation Lafia Dole in Maiduguri did accept that the contingent was moved away, but he said it was not just a week to the attack, weeks before that, he said, and that they were moved to a new location close to the border between Nigeria and Niger Republic, where another military formation was under attack by the Boko Haram, and there was need for reinforcement. He ended up by saying that the army handed over the security of the area after it has been kept calm and secured for long to the Nigerian police force. As soon as that statement went public, the police commissioner in Yobe State said no, there was no formal handover of security situation in that part of Yobe State, that community, Dapchi, by the Nigerian military, that they were not aware of the military's withdrawal. Is it not a shame security agencies displaying their rivalry and uncoordinated approach to securing Nigeria publicly? It came at a day the president hosted 3 lecturers of University of Maiduguri and 9 other women that were abducted by the Boko Haram, which of course the Department of State Security, DSS, secured their release through an extensive negotiations. The president is promising that the rescue of the Dapchi girls and others held in captivity will be given very strong consideration. Ijamo Samo is joining me in the studio this morning.
Thank you, Amechi. I actually do not like talking about the security situations because it's not a good one. It's not something we just sit down and start tearing in a live broadcast like that. But I still think that the federal government should intensify effort so that these girls can be released. We've been crying about the Chibok girls that were kidnapped some time ago, that were adopted, and now we're having the case of Dapchi girls. It's not too good for the image of this country. Nigeria being a big country in Africa, we should work with the government, work with the security officials. If we have information, we have to give them. Let them work harder and try and stop this whole thing. And the issue of Boko Haram, I remember the military said they had conquered Boko Haram. I'm still surprised that Boko Haram is wreaking havoc again in that same place, here and there. So I think it is not just for the security officials alone. It is for concerned Nigerians to put hands together and do something about this ugly trend of Boko Haram and security challenges around different regions of the country.
The nature of attack of the school in Dapchi is followed the same pattern with that of the Chibok school, government secondary school Chibok. There was a military formation guarding the school. A few days after the unit was withdrawn, the Boko Haram attacked. It tells you that they have intelligence on the movement of troops. Again, in Dapchi, troops stationed around the school were withdrawn. And again, Boko Haram. It tells you again they have intelligence. And it's the same intelligence that the Nigerian security agencies must seek for. They must have a network to pick intelligence. There's nothing stopping them from having that intelligence that there's an imminent attack on that school. So the same way Boko Haram gathers their intelligence, they must also seek ways of gathering intelligence. We have the Department of Directorate of Military Intelligence. We have the DSS. So many of them that gather intelligence. It's a failure, if you ask me, of intelligence on their part. Yes, it will be difficult for the military to hold territories conquered from Boko Haram. The military explained that they needed to move troops. Yes, military maneuvering and troop movement is normal. We have heard in the past of the military handing over to civil security agencies such as the police and civil defense to hold an established presence in areas that have been liberated. The question is, to what extent did that play out in Dapchi? The military claimed it handed over, while the police said, no, you did not hand over to us. So someone definitely is lying in this regard. But the INEC, Ijoma, you were there yesterday during their quarterly meeting with the media, said, as it were, they will continue plans they brought out some months back, the timetable and dates of the election, 2 weekends of the election. For now, they are disregarding now ongoing attempts to amend the Electoral Act to create 3 different election days. They said, the INEC chairman said, as far as it's concerned, the extant laws is what is guiding INEC. And unless, and of course, there is a conclusion to the ongoing amendment, if the president appends his assent or the National Assembly overrides.
Yes, I asked that question yesterday. I asked the INEC chairman, peradventure, at the end of this, before the 2019 election, the president has sent to this bill. What will happen? And he said, when we get there, we'll cross it.
Just like politicians will tell you, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
He said they will decide on what to do at that moment. But for now, there is just one law in the Nigerian Constitution and the Electoral Act that they are following. So there's no law yet, and there is no legal lacuna, let me use these words, no legal lacuna in this whole issue. And for people who are drawing conclusions that they are doing this because of the president, some people do not want the president to do. No, it's not all about that. It's good for us to try and work on our laws, but if you think that law will not favor you, definitely when it gets to your table, then you say something about it and knock it out. So I think what INEC is doing is they cannot preempt. They don't want to preempt the laws that is not yet established. What they are doing is, there is a law in the Constitution that gives INEC the power to decide on whatever elections will be, and that is what they're doing. So if before the end of this year and before the February 16 election, this law is not assented to, then we'll just go ahead.
The amended bill has got into the presidency. It has 30 days to consider it. If after 30 days the president fails to assent, it will be deemed that he has vetoed that amendment, and it's now left for the National Assembly to override with 2/3 majority, which is pretty difficult. But what the INEC has said, I think, is in line. The law is in place, but there's a proposed law. All they need to do is to take notice of the proposed law and make contingency arrangement. There's a possibility that the new proposed law will eventually become law, which will, of course, make rubbish of the plans INEC has. It will be forced to make fresh plans.
My fear is, if before 2019 election, or close to that election, this bill becomes law, what happens? They will have
If you ask me, we're already close to the election, less than a year to the election. Recall INEC did the first round of elections, National Assembly and presidential election, February 16. So we have less than 12 months to voting proper. Preparations and budget, INEC says it has tidied its budget. Yes. It will soon send it to the National Assembly. Are all this ready? These are the big questions. But these are more after we take your mails. If you recall, your mails are an essential part of this program. It's not complete yet till we hear from you. Your comments, suggestions, and opinion on topical national issues. Don't be a passive listener. Always send us mail to our email platform, politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Hello, welcome to the mail segment. I am Usai Yari.
And I'm Amaka Okoro. Welcome.
Our first mail today is from Benga in Lagos State, who writes on the senseless killings in Kaduna State. The mail reads, "We woke up to yet another religious crisis in Kaduna State and Nigeria. It's terribly unfortunate that in this country we kill ourselves for the stupidest of reasons. Why should anybody kill and maim because of religion? Where exactly does the belief that one can fight for and defend God really emanate from? Could this be a result of the joblessness of the youths in this country? Or is it about sheer ignorance and illiteracy? It's about time that the Christian and Muslim leaders in Kaduna State properly educate their followers on the tenets of their religion. Enough of these senseless killings, all in the name of religion."
Adeyemi Olusegun in Abeokuta says, "Dear Political Platform crew, there is need for you to update us on some legislature that were sent packing by court judgments. Have they refunded their salary as instructed by the court? It is important that you update us so that it will dissuade would-be contestants from rigging elections. Such cases include that of Herman Hembe."
That's it on the mail segment today. Continue to write to us through politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Thank you so much for remaining with us as to whether those that the courts insisted must refund salaries and allowance paid during the period they illegally occupied seats in the legislature would investigate and get back to you at the appropriate time. And on the budget, you're very right. Nobody, the media, the politicians, those in government, civil society, is talking of 2018 budget. This is the second month going to the third month, and we don't have much stories about that. And this is a nation that is talking of development and economy coming out from recession, where the attention should focus on the economy, the one that concerns the ordinary people on the streets. But we predicted it though. We told you this is an election year. Yes, the election will come in early 2019, but the bulk of activities will be this year. Go to all the parties, APC having its National Executive Committee meeting.
Amechi, I once said that we do not have opposition in Nigeria. And a member of one of the opposition party called me to tell me, why will I say that they are working? We don't have opposition. I don't know.
You still insist
yes,
they are not
I am still insisting.
optimally?
No, you know what happened in 2014 before the 2015 election? You see politics playing out. Every morning there's a story to talk about. Give it to Lai Mohammed. No matter what they are saying about him, that man is a man I respect.
Maybe
so much.
The president, those are the opposition party now who believe the strategy adopted by Lai Mohammed was not the right one. Maybe they wanted
not the right one, but he paid off. Not the right one, but he paid off. That is politics. You can't be an opposition party and sit down there and say because you want to play it differently. No, look, election is not war, yes, but it's a challenge that's most likely like war. It's a peaceful war. That's what election is.
There are so many that will say there's no need to shout fire in the marketplace, that you need to factor in national interest.
But when you see smoke coming out from a place close to the market, you need to shout fire because there's no fire without smoke.
For instance, some said the way the APC, then the opposition party, criticized the way the APC-led government handled the Boko Haram insurgency campaign, counter-insurgency campaign was the main reason why the West, including the United States, refused to sell arms to the Nigerian military. That these are occasions where they drove it beyond politics and did not consider national
Are they
interest.
not other issues? You're talking about the Nigerian budget now. You're talking about legislators that were given court orders to vacate their seat and return the money. Nobody is talking, and those issues are kept under the carpet.
Okay, let's tell you about the elections. Maybe tomorrow we'll have to invite some people to tell us about the budget, where it has gotten to in the National Assembly, the hurdles facing this budget. We must redirect attention away from politics to budget. Yes, budget is part of politics, but it is should be paramount and should command respect. Talking of politics, we gave you figures of registered voters in Nigeria, those whose names are on the voters register. We told you the Northwest has the largest with about 18 million registered voters. South, and Southeast not doing very well with 8 and 9 million. Second, Southwest with 14 million registered voters. But it may not tell the true picture because if you do a breakdown, for instance, of those that have collected their PVCs and those that have not collected PVCs, we can tell you that as we speak today, 8 million PVCs are yet to be claimed by would-be and prospective voters. And unfortunately for the Southwest, it has the largest number of uncollected PVCs. Lagos State, for instance, has 1.4 million, over 1.4 million PVCs not collected. It's followed by Oyo State, which has 6,000 uncollected PVCs. Edo State has 461, and fourth on the chart of states with unclaimed PVCs is Ogun State with over 400. So the Southwest is accounting for nearly half of the 8 million uncollected PVC. So if you remove it from the 14 million that the Southwest has, then you know that we are talking about just above 10 million for the Southwest to play with when elections come in 2019.
Yes.
Politics, they say, is a game of numbers.
Actually, yesterday somebody wrote to ask how long it would take for them to get their PVCs, and that question, INEC chairman gave an answer to that question yesterday when he said those who registered in 2017, they should expect their PVCs in May this year, and those who registered in 2018, some of us who registered this year, we should be expecting our permanent voter cards before the 2019 election. So I don't think you should be shouting. INEC has told you these are the processes that it will take for your PVCs to be ready. If you know that you registered in 2017, your PVC will be ready in May, and go to the closest INEC office or the ward close to you where you see people collecting their PVCs. Go and collect your PVC, because if you don't have it, you are not armed to be a part of the election in 2019. And when you're not armed, you can't take a decision to decide who governs the country or your state or even the local government area.
We have Uju Eje with us. He will make a quick comment and we'll go to a stalwart of the APC, Osto Okechukwu, on their scheduled meeting today.
It actually got reports, allegations from the Southwest, particularly in Lagos, where they are complaining that the process of registration is so slow, and most of the machines are bad, that on any given day, they would be lucky if 20 people were registered. And I think that INEC should look into that.
I think as of yesterday, INEC came up with a fact that they have already distributed close to about 400 and something new registration machine that captures the 8 fingers at once. So they have distributed it across the 36 states and the FCT.
And we monitor and give you the performance of this new deployment. But let's welcome Osto Okechukwu, a founding member of the APC. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, sir.
Your party is having its National Executive Committee meeting today. Just yesterday, the state chairman endorsed a 2-year tenure extension for the party chairman. What does it mean for the party?
We are the members of the great party, the APC. We're happy that our party is on the move again. Our party is on the move again. And from all indications, from the message from Mr. President, where Mr. President has reassured the party and admonished that we should stick to the constitution of our great party, the All Progressive Congress, in all the congresses coming up. I think it's refreshing. And as you said, when the forum of APC state chairmen across the country are in unison that one, Mr. President should run again, that we should harvest once more the 12-point-something million votes of Mr. President, and that the state exco should not be distracted so that we can all focus on the election instead of trying to go into brickbat on congresses of electives. If it is adopted, I think it is in the interest of the party, because the major issue we are in now is about the 2019 election, so that the APC can continue the critical infrastructure, the roads, the standard gauge rail line, the agro project of Mr. President, and the electricity we are trying to enhance in Nigeria.
A lot of people have said Odigi Oyegu is a part of the problem of the party. Even yesterday we had your party member. He also attested to that. Now he will likely get a 2-year extension. The National Executive Committee will likely endorse that proposal today. So, what will it mean for the party? A man who many see as part of the problem being in charge for the next 2 years and overseeing the 2019 elections.
And if I may quickly add, a man who for almost 2 years could not hold a major meeting for the party in government.
That is where a lot of people have got strong. Like a human organization, Mr. President has appointed Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is a veteran and who is there when the party was forged as APC. So look into the intricacies, all the loopholes, all the disjointed votes. So while the Asiwaju is doing that, we do not want to be deeply affected. We want to also move, because as Uje just said, we knew that APC had been kind of localized. The PDP has been localized in Southeast and South. So we're not taking chances. So the party is focusing on 2019 general elections so that we can continue the good program we have already started. So we do not want to talk about the real good of this. The little that is disconnected will be fixed. But most importantly, how do we, in the course of the 8 years, lay a solid foundation for industrialization of the country by providing 5,000 kilometer standard gauge rail line, repair all the dilapidated federal roads, provide electricity to the Nigerian people, halt food importation. So we are not getting distracted about, the chairman should go or the chairman should stay. No. What
are your expectations for this National Executive Council meeting? What will the party do post NEC meeting?
The NEC meeting, from my own perspective and from the feelers I've gotten as a member of the party, is that the party is going to work stronger. It's going to get united. Mr. President has maintained in that caucus address, he insisted that the party must be united, that if we were not united on the 10th of December 2014, we couldn't have won the presidential election. That's the president is trying to cast our mind back. That the unity of purpose we used in 2014 primary, the sacred authenticity and transparency of that primary was what the shining armor we used to go to 2015.
You talk about unity of purpose, but why are all these endorsements by the governors and the different groups coming just at the point when the party leader Bola Ahmed Tinubu accused the party chairman of being a clog in the wheel of progress of reconciling aggrieved members?
If you go through the statement of the governors, if you go through the statement of the party chairmen across the state, they are all in support. Even the Chief Odigo Oyegu you are talking about, you also pledged to support what Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu's committee is doing. Nobody, from my own understanding, is against the reconciliation. We know, as I said, there are certain points to be connected. Nobody can dismiss that. And Asiwaju is fitted for the job because, one, he's a veteran, and no Nigerian can accuse him of being bribed. Where do you bribe him from? So he stands ahead to mend those fences.
Who now reconcile Asiwaju with the party chairman? Because no doubt they need reconciliation.
Don't forget, I was in Oyegun's campaign team, and Asiwaju was the engine of the growth. Asiwaju knows. Asiwaju had established a trademark of trying to raise credible people to leadership across the country. And he knows sometimes there are some adverse conditions, and he knows how to pull back, and he knows how to call the person back. Luckily, Mr. President is there. Are you saying Mr. President had nothing to do again? That he will allow his party to go into smithery? I don't think President Muhammad Buhari will do so.
Okay, we'll have to thank you so much. Osto Okechukwu, a stalwart and founding member of the APC and a close confidant of the president, for taking our time to speak with us.
I think Bola Tinubu and the national chairman of the APC, they're already reconciling themselves. They didn't need to wait for any person to reconcile them. Because from the statement of the national chairman yesterday, he gave kudos to what Tinubu is doing, and he said all party members should queue behind Tinubu and speak with one voice. If they don't do that,
we hope
it's election
it should
year.
Start with him.
If they don't, for him to say that,
of sabotaging
no, for him to say that, that means he has reconciled.
Amechi Joma should understand that politics goes beyond what you see on the surface.
Sometimes you see
it goes
diplomacy.
beyond taking tea together or eating together.
They shouldn't distract their supporters.
No, the party has a lot of work. Some of their leaders acknowledge that they don't have time. That's why they are withholding an election for a new national working committee, because they realize they don't have time now. PDP has successfully done its own. That's why the APC is now endorsing a 2-year extension for the current national working committee. So they need to really move fast to make up for lost time. Thank you so much for joining us. When we come back tomorrow, we promise you, we focus on the budget, the one that concerns us all. On behalf of my colleagues, my name is Amechi Anokwe. Enjoy your day.